So after the first half, counting third quarter, U.S. GDP is now 0.4%. Joining us now, Congressman Dan Meuser from House Foreign Affairs and Congressman Pat Fallon from House Oversight. First to you, Congressman Fallon. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, caught on a hot mic in a moment, we're going to show it. He was talking to the president about the Pennsylvania Senate debate between Dr. Oz and John Fetterman. Let's take a listen. Watch. So, Congressman Fallon, first your reaction. Senator Schumer saying they're in danger of losing the Senate seat and the race in Pennsylvania. What do you think?
Well, Liz, that's the first time I've ever agreed with something that Chuck Schumer said. He was being honest. Anybody that watched that debate knows that Fetterman is completely incapable of serving. I feel for the guy from a health standpoint, but he's in no position to be a United States senator. It was the worst debate performance I have ever seen. And I was a nerdy political kid when I was 10 years old. So I've been watching this stuff for 40 years, Liz. I've never seen anything like it.
You're dating yourself. I'm just teasing. You should be allowed to date whoever you want. That's an old Dick Cavett joke. Congressman Meuser, so again, breaking news. Senator Chuck Schumer caught on a hot mic warning the president they could lose this Democrat Senate race with John Fetterman in Pennsylvania. When you heard that, what was your thought?
Well, once again, here's Schumer actually telling the truth, and they're terrified of the people knowing the truth. You'll only hear that behind what they thought was behind the scenes. But, you know, there's a reason that they like Fetterman. One, they think they can get their vote. But let's face it, Fetterman makes Schumer look like John F. Kennedy. So their standards aren't very high. And, you know, the more we know about John Fetterman and it's really coming out, the less chance he has. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is not going to, the majority of us are not going to vote this guy in. Yeah. Dr. Oz is on a roll.
So it's crime and inflation and gas prices could tip the Senate. Senate now in toss-up, according to 538. Let's move on to this. Congressman Fallon, your reaction when you heard the New York Times reporting the president, the White House, Democrats now furious. Saudi Arabia broke off their secret deal to get OPEC Plus to pump more oil and keep gas low to keep Democrats in power. The deal was to pump 400,000 barrels a day September, 200,000 barrels a day from October through December. Instead, OPEC Plus cut production by 2 million barrels a day. What do you think of this?
Well, Liz, it's another example of Joe Biden's White House putting politics over people. I mean, this is, as you mentioned in your monologue, this could be illegal interference. To sit there and say, you know, my political concerns are greater than the American people's need, particularly 2 weeks before an election they're about to lose.
So what statutory grounds do the Republicans have to say this is illegal election interference, Congressman Meuser and Fallon? Do you guys know yet, or do you have that yet, or no?
Well,
Congressman Meuser.
Yeah. Well, it certainly doesn't smell well, and it has a manipulation to it. The Saudis are stating just that it needed to be done before the election, so immediately. Okay. And here, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Oh, so it has a very, very fishy smell to it, But the thing is, look, we all know what was being done there. They're going to the Saudis begging, yet we won't increase domestic energy. I mean, it's just such a gas backwards approach on every front.
So, Congressman Fallon, I mean, it's a double whammy to U.S. national security. The president is draining the U.S. strategic reserves. We have less than a 25-day supply of diesel in those reserves. It could be a shortage for truckers as we approach the holiday season, and he's damaging Saudi Arabia relations. So that's what the word is out there in foreign policy land. I mean, watch the president's top economic advisor, Brian Deese. Watch this again. He's trying to avoid answering questions about this secret deal. Watch this.
Brian, you didn't answer the question, so I'm going to ask it again. Brian, again, it's a really straight question. Did you ask the Saudis to delay that decision for a month? Are they telling the truth or not?
Look, I'm not going to get on air and disclose private conversations that members of our administration
the Saudis have shared it with us. You've got the opportunity to say it's true or not. Is it true or not?
What I will say clearly is that the communications that we've had with OPEC members and continuing have been based on our assessment of the economic circumstances of supply and demand in global oil markets.
Congressman Congressman Fallon, sit tight because it's more than that. The White House, the Biden White House, Democrats are outraged about what happened. Let's listen to them threatening retaliation. Sit tight and listen to this. Watch.
Look, the Saudi planes could not fly, literally, their Air Force, without American technicians. Their Air Force would be grounded to a halt. They can't rely on China and Russia. It would take them almost a decade. They've been dependent on our military for decades. So it would force them to reconsider.
Politics are bloom and go in Ghana right now. They're calling for a stopping of U.S. arms sales to Saudi Arabia. Do you support that legislation?
We're going to react to Saudi Arabia.
Was there an
gas
understanding,
prices go
Karine,
down.
with the Saudis that the Saudis then backed away from?
Again, the trip was not about oil. That is not what we went to do there.
Unfortunately for the press secretary, yes, it was about oil. So the president is threatening retaliation because Saudi Arabia violated their secret deal. This is where we are at in geopolitics and our foreign policy, Congressman Fallon.
Well, it reminds me of what my mom used to say about what a tangled web we weave. They're not being honest and they're not being forthcoming. You know, my good friend Dan Meuser knows that. Liz, you mentioned the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. It was at 695 million barrels at its height under President Trump, and it's under 400 million now. I mean, that's approaching like a 45% reduction. And, you know, like Dan said as well, we should be unleashing American energy, the American energy sector, not relying on Saudi Arabia.
That
and
would
to
keep
make
the
this
U.S.
kind of
safe. U.S. safe and employed. And yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
So, Congressman Fallon, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Yes. It was just about a quid pro quo, and that's something that doesn't pass the smell test at all.
So retaliation for violating a secret deal, Congressman Meuser, your final word. I mean, gas is above the national average in nearly 20 states, about 30 vulnerable House Democrats there. So retaliation for violating a secret backroom deal?
No, I think it's ridiculous. Why don't they retaliate against Joe Biden for cutting back 2 million barrels a day, which he's done since President Trump was in office? So they want to retaliate against the Saudis. It's a knee-jerk reaction to the liberal policies that are backfiring. And you know what? The Saudis also have a lot of concerns over this Iranian deal that the administration is trying to pursue.
Got it. Congressman Meuser and Fallon, thanks for joining us tonight, gentlemen. It's good to see you both.